Hola, amigos y amigas. There is a birdhouse or two behind me, and a little bird has made a nest in there, and I think she wants to go back in. We'll see if she flies in during our story. Tonight, this evening, I have brought a very special story to read to you. This story is called Play With Me. I've had this book since I was a really little girl, and I used to always think I was similar to this character in the book because she was blonde like me, and she didn't have anyone to play with during this story, and I was an only child. And although I had neighbors and friends, I didn't have any brothers and sisters until I was about 6 years old. So I often felt like I needed to go out into nature or go look for friends to play with, kind of like her. I thought I'd show you a picture of me when I was in kindergarten. That's me. I'd lost a tooth, and that's my dad too. So this is a story from when I was your age and needed someone to play with. Maybe you feel this way sometimes. This is called Play With Me by Marie Hall Etz. Both the stories, and the writing and the illustration. The sun was up and there was dew on the grass, and I went to the meadow to play. She goes into the meadow, which is a type of habitat. And what does she find there? A grasshopper sat on the leaf of a weed. He was eating it up for his breakfast. Grasshopper, I said, will you play with me? And I tried to catch him, but he leapt away. A frog stopped jumping and sat down on the pond. I think he was waiting to catch a mosquito. Frog, I said, will you play with me? And I tried to catch him, but he leapt away too. A turtle was sitting on the end of a log. He was sitting still, getting warm in the sun. Turtle, I said, will you play with me? But before I could touch him, he plopped into the water. A chipmunk was sitting beneath the oak tree, shelling an acorn with his sharp little teeth. Chipmunk, I said, will you play with me? But when I ran near him, he ran up a tree. Chipmunks are very similar to squirrels. A blue jay came and sat down on a bough, and jabbered and scolded the way blue jays do. Blue jay, I said, will you play with me? But when I held up my hands, he flew away. A rabbit was sitting behind the oak tree. He was wiggling his nose and nibbling a flower. Rabbit, I said, will you play with me? And I tried to catch him, but he ran into the woods. That's what animals do when they need to run, to be safe, right? They run or they hide. A snake came sneaking through the grass, zigzagging and sliding the way snakes do. Snake, I said, will you play with me? But even the snake ran away down his hole. Did he slither away or did he run? None of them would play with me. So I picked a milkweed and blew off its seeds. Then I went to the pond and I sat down on a rock and watched a bug making trails on the water. Have you ever seen the bugs that are so light they can sit on the surface of the water and scoot along? And as I sat there without making a sound, Grasshopper came back and sat down beside me. Then the frog came back and sat down in the grass, and Slowpoke Turtle crawled back to his log. She's being very quiet in the meadow, and the animals are coming back. And Chipmunk came and watched me and chattered, and Blue Jay came back to his bough overhead, and Rabbit came back and hopped around me, and Snake came out of his hole. Wouldn't that be exciting to be surrounded by all those meadow creatures? And as I sat and as I still sat there without making a sound so they wouldn't get scared and run away, out from the bushes where he had been hiding came a baby fawn and looked at me. A fawn is a baby deer. I held my breath, and he came nearer. He came so near, I could have touched him, but I didn't move, and I didn't speak, and Fawn came up and licked my cheek. Do you think that would really happen? Oh, now I was happy, as happy could be, for all of them were playing with me. The end. I hope you enjoyed my special story, and I hope you all are enjoying yourselves and finding things to do and stay busy and having fun and playing while you're home. We miss you. Take care, everyone.